All right, we now need to move our box into position so that it will be snug and flush with the face of the clock so that we can combine it together into one big thing. To do that, I need to tell the clock or the box where it's going to end up, and I will create a sketch on the clock face to do that. So I say create sketch. I'm now going to create a point, and I'll drop that into position anywhere on the design surface, and I will now dimension that so that I can see how far away it is from the top edge and how far away it's going to be from the side as well. And I can use these as sort of XY coordinates later on to move that around the design surface so I can reposition the box if I want to. So I'll start with it like this. Maybe I'll adjust my distance from the top to be about 30. Again, we're going to change this later. There it is. I'll finish my sketch, and now I need to joint the box to that point that I've created. So there's the point. I now need to grab a corner of that box there, and I need to move the box into a jointed position. To do that, I'll go to the Assemble menu and select Joint. I will select Joint. I will not select As Built Joint. Joint allows me to define lots more information about joints. In this case, what to link to and what to, and where to start the joint and where to finish the joint. So as I zoom in on this part on the box, I've positioned the joint reticle so that it's laying flat on this plane and that it is snapped to the upper left-hand corner of that part on the side. And now it turned transparent. If I orbit around, you see it's kind of gone glassy, and I can't really see it. And that's because it's saying I have enough information. I now need to know where do I end up. What's the second part of the joint? What's the second component? And here I just click on the face with the point that I just drew on the face of the clock, and you'll see it's moved it into position. Now it only moved that one side. That's just because it's showing you where that part itself will end up. It'll drag along the rest of the parts as soon as I click OK, and that's because we created as-built joints for all of those parts, and they'll just follow along as soon as I click, and as I said there it went, they all moved into position. So we've now got our compartment there on the front of our clock. We'll do a little bit of work to remove a hole so that we can stick it in there and glue it together later on. But for now, at least it's in a position that we're okay with. But maybe we don't like that position. Maybe you want to move the clock sort of box down. Well, I will rename my sketch box position and use it for just that. I'm going to use it to position my box. I'll open up the sketch, and now if I just change these values, let's say I change this to 100, and now it's moved that point down, and as I finish the sketch, we see that the actual box the joint moved down as well. So that's quite handy. That's how we adjust that. And so that's it. In our next video, we'll see how we can combine these parts to remove a hole in the face of the clock in order to be able to glue it in place and have a clock face with a compartment.